Yeah, that was the whole intro.
I didn't mean to be.
Hey,
Everybody. Hey. Welcome back to the Cold Classic Podcast. Cameron Jones here, as always, with my co-host,
Mark Nussle.
Jordan Jones.
Does your name change after this week? Oh, no, that's her.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully she changes it. I don't
big
know
week
what's
for
gonna
Jordan
happen.
Jones.
Oh, I thought
coming
we were
up here.
talking about just Jordan's Halloween Jordan Bones thing.
Oh, no, I'm back to Jones.
Good call,
But,
good call.
yeah, I'm getting married
You're
this
getting
week.
hitched this week. That's
getting
great.
hitched this week,
That's
yeah.
big news.
Yeah, if there's any delays in the podcast coming out, sorry,
Blame
but
Cameron.
don't
He's
come at
going
Cameron.
through personal
I'm
stuff.
going through some personal stuff, and Jordan's getting married.
I'm going to get married. Pretty excited.
We might have a little special surprise for you next week to celebrate the occasion, but this week we're keeping it fall. We're getting out of Halloween. We're doing the 1995 family movie.
I'm getting married to, instead of saying my girlfriend Megan, I'm going to start saying my wife Megan.
You haven't
in
said
the future.
fiance for like these past 6 months?
Oh, I
you
did do
really
fiance.
haven't. A
He's
little.
like, he went girlfriend straight to wife. I don't
no,
mind it.
you kinda
I like
did.
it.
I did do some fiance, right? I use that, and it was, it was fun. But now that I'm running out of it, so this I'm really gonna lean into it.
The wife thing.
Yeah. Well, the fiance thing because I only got it
God.
for one more week.
That's true.
But when I come back, it's gonna be my wife. My wife.
Well, this week Jordan and his girlfriend watched.
No, this is my fiance.
Jordan and his fiance watched the 1995 film Jumanji.
Jumanji.
A magical board game unleashes a world of adventure on siblings Peter and Judy Shepherd. While exploring an old mansion, the youngsters find a curious jungle-themed game called Jumanji in the attic. When they start playing, they free Alan Parrish, a boy trapped in the game for decades, and a host of dangers that can only be stopped by finishing the game.
Just 2 decades.
Just 2.
Yeah, 26 years. Get over it.
Directed by Joe Jonston. Starring Robin Williams, Kirsten Dunst, Jonathan Hyde, Bonnie Hunt, Bradley Pierce, and Bebe Neuwirth.
This is a movie that at the time had groundbreaking special effects that they were boasting about, and now it's kind of a fun, nostalgic special effects 90s movie.
There's really not movies like this one specifically. Clue meets Indiana Jones meets something
game.
with dad problems.
Just thinking of a board game. Different
This is
movie.
Doubtfire?
This is tough. No, it's real dad problems.
A game for those who seek to find a way to leave their world behind.
It's the third best board game theme movie.
This is a precursor to that rock movie, Jumanji.
This has nothing to do with that. It's only name and title. Don't get me started. Great reboot. Love it. But it's not the same.
Not the
Get
same.
fucked. Get out of here.
Roll the dice and unleash the excitement.
Jumanji.
All right. Cast and crew. This movie's directed by Joe Jonston.
I know the name. What else do I know works-wise?
You're going to know his works.
Joe
Honey, I
Johnston's
Shrunk the Kids is
Okay.
his first work.
I just want
Classic.
to say he surprised me. I'm going to let you run through it, but
No.
I kind of want to discuss them after it.
Yeah. Okay.
In more detail than we normally do our directors.
Sure. He went on then to do The Rocketeer.
Okay.
Then right after, The Page Master.
I thought you were
Only
about to say
the live
the Page,
action
and I was about to say
sequences.
bullshit. The Page Master.
Only
Well, that
live
makes sense.
action.
Just where Macaulay Culkin's ramping.
So like
over
10 minutes at the
sawhorses
beginning,
and
5
shit.
minutes at the end.
Yeah, right. Then he does Jumanji. Then a heavy hitter for me, October Sky.
Oh, Mark's favorite movie.
Good movie.
Jurassic Park 3, Hidalgo. He goes on to do Captain America: The First Avenger.
Okay.
And then he kind of fizzles
Kind of some
off
sleepers
but-
there in the middle, but they came back.
So he had this genre in spades, this action adventure kids family movie. It seems like he got some bigger chances with Jurassic Park and Hidalgo. And
Well, the third one.
yeah, but still probably a
Alan.
ridiculously big movie, and really expensive.
True.
But he got to start in production design, worked on the Star Wars movie, the original ones.
Okay.
Oh,
in
yeah.
some
Visual
capacity.
effects here. It says he did all of the original trilogy for the Star Wars and my favorite, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I think he got tapped as an up-and-comer, got his chance, and maybe fizzled with some of those
little
really,
bit.
really big.
But again, he's doing more big hits again.
But
We
one-
talked about this. The only reason I liked Raiders of the Lost Ark is because
It's
own
the one
it
you
at
had,
home.
yeah.
What did you guys own?
We owned Temple of Doom, and we didn't own it. It was rent. It was taped off of TV.
Okay.
Which most of our
But
movies
that
were.
was the only one we had. But even as a kid, I'm like, this isn't the best one. I've been to other places. It's Raiders of the Lost Ark. Oh, he also had a big part of the production, like pre-production of Iron Giant, which is just.
Oh, I just watched that the other night.
Didn't direct it, but had a lot to do with the story.
It's on HBO Max if you're curious. Watched it the other night.
The Vin
so
Diesel
good.
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if I would call it the Vin Diesel one.
Vin Diesel is in it. He's the giant. Is it Groot? Is it the Iron Giant? I don't know. All I know is family is important in all those movies.
That's super true.
There you go.
Just a little bit more behind the scenes crew music by James Horner. He also did Titanic.
I also watched that last week. What's going on? Get out of my brain, Mark.
There's kind of really.
Yeah, I did.
We may do Titanic someday, but quickly, I am straight just, and I'm talking VHS version, first half. I don't even want to watch the second half.
That's
Which is like the love
That's
story.
not
Exciting
true
half?
unless you're a 13-year-old boy who's going through puberty.
And even like
You always pop in that second.
No, I want. When did the boobs happen?
Second set.
Well,
that's
pretty-
a
pretty early.
first half.
I think it's first half.
Oh, boobs are first half.
Mark's all about the passion. He likes
get,
the streaky hand
I think
for
that's
it.
early
you get-
second.
you
I
get-
think
you-
that's early second.
you get
I
second-
would love to argue that.
I know for a fact it's right after the iceberg hits when they're on the top deck. It's right after boning when you switch tapes.
I know when the boning happens. I'm
No,
just,
no. We're talking about the pay me in this, only this, Jack.
Where are we at right now?
He wrote music for Titanic.
Got it.
Sorry about that.
No, we're good. Second DVD. Second tape. He also did Titanic. He did right around Balto. He did Casper and Apollo 13. Braveheart.
Okay, so nothing but big hitters here.
Big hitters. Most recently, let's see, Avatar.
Okay, is he signed on to do the other
Completely
avatars?
composed by Southpaw. Okay, cool. So that's that guy, composer.
Nice.
I always like to touch on that.
Jesus, 1995
Especially when
to
like it sounds
97
whimsical
was
and it's like a score you kind of remember.
a great career arc for him.
Robin Williams plays Alan Parrish.
I mean, you obviously know who Robin Williams is.
Obviously, most notable for Flubber.
Stepfather. What's the one you...
Wild call.
Cameron, you're a real big
Flubber.
1 hour photo guy, aren't you?
God, that movie is awkward.
I've never seen that one.
The best
No,
dad
honestly,
one
they'll
where
go
he-
around the room, say your favorite. Just off the top.
Maybe Mrs. Doubtfire. I don't know.
I think I'm Dead Poet.
It is...
Oh, actually, it's probably. I mean, really, it's Goodwill Hunting for doing serious roles, but
Dead Poet or
Dead-
Goodwill.
Dead Poet's over Goodwill
But can I
still.
always say my third favorite because it doesn't belong in number one?
sure.
Aladdin.
What? No, I get it. I
Good
like it. I
Morning,
respect
Vietnam?
It is Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah,
I
you-
fucking-
It's a good one.
If you want
Patch Adams.
full blown him, but also in a dramatic role, I think that's a
You've
best
been
of
a
both
big
worlds.
proponent, and you've been propping that movie up for
I
years.
just
So
want to say it's good. Check
I'm
it
just
out.
going down the line here. These aren't necessarily in order. Jonathan Hyde plays the dad, Sam Parrish, and also, Van Pelt, who comes through the game.
I mean, I know him from a lot of things in the '90s, but nothing's popping in my head other than Richie Rich off the top of my
Funny
head.
enough, Titanic.
Oh yeah, no shit. Never mind.
Yeah.
Titanic.
He's got the voice to
Richie
play
Rich,
this
though.
guy.
Cadbury.
Yeah,
He's playing a
Fuck.
sophisticated guy with that voice, but a mean guy.
true.
Kirsten Dunst plays Judy Shepherd.
I mean, child actress. Someday we're
Small
gonna.
Soldiers.
Small Soldiers. I
I'm
knew
going to
you
bring
were
these
gonna-
movies up anytime I
I
can.
knew you were going to get in there somehow. Eventually, we'll do probably Interview with the Vampire, but Spider-Man.
Obviously, I'm gonna
Bring it
with
on,
the vampire.
my Spider-Man.
You're Spider-Man.
We could do Bring It On as well.
Oh,
Also,
yeah.
shout out, like our age group's Little Women. I know there'll be another
Oh,
one
yeah.
in 21. She's in that too. That's a sneaky. If I made a list of things,
Is she younger in that?
yeah, she's
way
like
younger.
13. She's not a kid, but she's not like an adult. She's like a
Teenager.
Okay.
That's one of my top 4 things to watch back home with my parents, like VHSs or DVDs. Like, I'm gonna put in Little Women and just
Melancholia. I'm just thinking of that. I'm not even reading this, but isn't she in that?
I mean, she's been an adult actor, and I think is most recently in Fargo TV show.
I believe she was the mom in Midnight Special.
Okay, we've gone on long enough. You guys
Kristen
either know or you
Dunst.
don't.
Oh, I'll cut up with that. That's fine.
Peter Shepherd is played by Bradley Pierce. He is Chip in the original Beauty and the Beast. That's all I remember him from.
I saw that. That's the only thing I can
not
really...
even remember, just like note him from.
Oh, I totally recast him. Like, I don't know who it is, but I think the voice from Chip would be good for this role. I didn't fucking know.
Bonnie Hunt plays Sarah Whittle.
Give me another good Bonnie Hunt. I can't think off the top of my head, but I know
We
her.
just watched this like last summer. The mom from Beethoven.
Oh, no shit. Yeah, we did just watch that. Well, not even last summer. Like, we watched it
Charles Grodin.
a month ago.
Yeah.
Didn't he get in trouble for being a...
Not Josh Groban.
He
Charles
was one of the
Grodin.
worst people on SNL guest-wise.
No, I know he got kicked. Oh, I'm confusing with the Seventh Heaven dad as well.
Cheaper by the dozen. She's in the Green Mile. Bebe
Who's she in Green
Neuwirth.
Mile?
The mom, she's the one that... John Coffey, but not spelled that she has cancer in the bed. She's the...
Oh, the mom. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. I got you. I like that actress, though, when I see her in stuff. It's normally in this size role.
Bebe Neuwirth plays Nora Shepherd, the sister of the late dad who the kids are of.
Also the principal in The Faculty. Go back and see our Faculty episode.
Vice principal.
Oh, I thought she was familiar. Mm-hmm. And I obviously didn't look up her movies. Oh, Bonnie Hunt's in Jerry Maguire, too. She's really good in that.
Oh,
she
nice.
plays the
Yeah, good
sister.
call.
Just thought of it.
David Alan Grier plays Bentley. I didn't recognize him anything except he's in the new fucking Clifford the Big Red Dog movie that looks frightening.
Looks terrifying. I know him from things, but I mean, nothing's coming off the top of my head.
He seemed way more familiar in this movie than like
anything else.
He is to me.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't think in my head of what he was in, but I don't think it's necessarily. He's just a character actor that shows up. And
just on the Green Mile again, Patricia Clarkson plays Carol Parrish, the mom that we see briefly in the beginning. She's in the Green Mile. I think she's actually.
She's the
that's
thing.
what you're
she's
thinking
the,
of.
Oh shit! And then the other one's Tom Hanks' wife. They're both in the Green Mile.
There you
Oops,
go.
sorry.
There you go.
Adam Han-Bird plays young Alan. I don't really know him from anything. It says he's in Halloween H2O, and he's a writer for the 2018 video game Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery. There's a couple fun ones, though. James Handy, the exterminator who comes in, is in Arachnophobia, can pass by that. And Frank Welker is in this motherfucking thing. Frank Welker. I assume he's doing monkey voices. You know Frank Welker. He does like...
He's a voice guy?
He's like the voice guy we always talk about.
We probably even brought him up
sure
the last time. You're like... And he was in Jumanji, and then Mark probably said, he's probably like doing monkey voice.
Frank! Frank!
Yeah, I don't remember him. I vaguely remember you.
That's super rude.
I do vaguely remember you bringing up the sound guy's name, but I don't remember him ever.
Okay, and also Tom Woodruff plays the dummy lion and the dummy crocodile. He's also in Starship Troopers. Frank Welker's Scooby-Doo.
My fiance is buzzing, and I'm going to take
We've talked about this before. That sucks. That sucks.
Hello.
But Frank Welker.
Should we move on to Unverified? Welcome to Unverified. It's December 1995, and you're going to the movies, and your options were Tom and Huck, Mr. Holland's Opus, Balto, which has been brought up today and other times.
That Balto movie's from 1995? Mm-hmm, that fucking dog?
Dracula Dead and Loving It, Heat, and Sense and Sensibility, but you chose to see Jumanji.
I think you made the right choice.
Out of that one? In December? Yeah.
Hey man, Dracula Dead and Loving It isn't that bad.
But you give it time.
Neither's Balto.
You wait till like Oscar season. You're gonna see some gems in there. In 1995, if you check it out.
Just off the top, Bradley Pierce underwent 3 hours of prosthetic makeup to become the monkey. He had to do it for about 15 to 20 days, but he said he loved it.
And I'm pretty sure that Robin
How old
Williams
was
had
he?
to
Do you know
go.
how old he was? Like as a kid, that'd be kind of fun, no? Like just putting on like a bunch of Halloween makeup.
Oh, I bet I would love it. I actually have this somewhere.
Oh, I do too. It's
because
Kirsten Dunst and what's his name? Sorry,
Bradley Pierce, the two Shepherd children. They're like
the same age.
They're only 6 months apart, actually, even though she's so much taller.
That's normal.
He does seem much younger, though. I will say.
He seems like a younger brother, like 4 years younger.
Yeah.
Keene, New Hampshire was where the town was filmed. Apparently, Robin Williams is beloved there. They gave him the town.
I'm going to say he's beloved everywhere.
The
he's beloved everywhere. Don't try to take him from us, Keene.
Yeah, it feels like they're trying to take him from us for sure.
Out of the three of us, who's most likely to get a key to the city?
Of what? Our city? Our
Any
fair
city? Any city.
I'd say right now it's a crapshoot. One of us has to do something, though.
Yeah. The only way I'd get to the keys of the city is like to win like an eating contest or something. Like,
and this guy ate 63 hot dogs.
Yeah, something like that.
So this is kind of interesting. So this is
my bet's Mark for what it's worth. He plays golf.
You think I can put down hot dogs?
So this is Unverified that also lends to some questions and kind of makes me angry, but there's a flaw in the design of the game, and each player, their path has a different amount of squares to get to the center. So Sarah's piece has 35. The lower path is 18. 22 in the upper right and 26 then so pretty much it ranges from 18 to like 36 is the highest on these paths in the animal you were taking.
Yeah, and the game takes it into account. Alan went into the Jumanji for 26 years. He had the closest path.
Speaking of which, this should be unverified, but like short game. Could have been a short
we're going
game.
to talk about that. Just save that.
Do I have some...
Don't put a...
I'm sorry.
Don't put a button in it. Put it just put a flag in it.
I'm sorry.
Put a goddamn
bring it back.
stake in that one. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Pair of shoes is still on display in Keene.
Oh, nice.
I feel like you don't see that enough. You'll see like the Home Alone house or you'll see the Breaking Bad house. I don't see enough pair of shoes in my Instagram feed.
Sure don't.
No.
But
I
actually,
see like too much. I follow a pair of shoes on Instagram.
You might actually see it more than you think, the Parrish house, at least, because it's the same house from the Haunted Mansion and the Changeling 1980.
Which Haunted Mansion?
Who can say? All right, I got a question for you. What came first, the movie or the game?
The movie.
Yeah, I did.
The book.
And then well, that's not what I asked.
Hey, pipe down.
They made the film into a board game in 96, and then they re-released it in 2018. Recently,
I remember
they
seeing
put
the
it
game
out.
around. Like I remember wanting the game.
My fiance Megan had the game, and she's like, it was underwhelming because
Nothing happened.
Because it was
There's no stampede.
yeah. There's just nothing. She's like, it was
You roll a draw 4 card is what you did. It's like
It turns out the game's
Jumanji.
done in the 4 rolls.
So she didn't think that real Jumanji was happening, but I believe what she said was she wanted it to be a digital screen to tell you what was happening in the game. You know what I mean?
Oh, it doesn't.
A little print.
It doesn't even do that.
I don't believe so.
Give me
said,
like an 8-ball thing too. Maybe something floats
8-ball
around.
thing would have been great. Yeah. No, it was more of a all the games that we played that had the
Swipe a card.
No, it was a red like plastic thing, and you put the card into, and you could only read.
Oh, sure.
Gotcha,
it was that. So
Gotcha.
Luckily, it was probably the most expensive game you could buy.
The game is going for $150 on Amazon as of right now.
Oh, yeah. Currently, the old 96
102.
version are selling quite high on eBay.
Nope. Just
currently, they're selling.
Just if you want to buy Jumanji right now on Amazon, like the remakes, it's $150.
I feel like there's a diagram I could 3D print that for cheap.
The one you're thinking of is the actual one used from the movie, sold on eBay for $60,000.
The actual one from the movie sold, $60,000. That's pretty crazy. I always like when the actual prop gets
sold
up there.
There must have been like
That's cool though, right?
Of those, all right.
What are the,
Yeah, but
at,
the
least
one from the
at least a couple.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would say like 3.
Okay, that makes
5?
more sense. Yeah, I said maybe too many. 1,000 sounds high now that we're talking about it, but that was hyperbole. We're nothing without a little hyperbole in this podcast.
Sure.
These ones always kind of blow my mind because it seems like we could find out. It is not known who played the gun shop. It is not known who played the gun shop's assistant, Louise. She's uncredited in the movie, and to this day, no one remembers.
I hope she listens to our podcast and be like,
It's me.
It's me.
Well, if you're listening out there, Louise.
Send me.
She may be dead.
Well, maybe. It's been a while. If you're out there, Louise, write in.
This one is relevant. Unfortunately, Robin Williams admitted that he did not need to get startled for the scene where Van Pelt is shooting him with the blank. Tough times we're in.
Just so I don't forget this, that is aged horribly. Like... Now just a postal shooter walking around. I was watching, I'm like, oh, this makes me feel too real nowadays. I didn't explain that with a lot of words, but it's scary. We live in a scary world now, and the active shooter is worse than it was when I was
Speaking
a kid.
of postal shooter.
Thanks for choosing us as your escape. There was a rumor that Jumanji accidentally killed elephant during the stampede scene, but that was just a rumor.
Fake news?
All the animals were CGI in this movie or a puppet. There wasn't anything.
There was a rumor that this movie, the filming, killed a real
During filming,
elephant.
there was a rumor going around and got spread to news outlets that they accidentally killed a real elephant.
They did, but it wasn't on the film. It was like they went on an off day of shooting. Like, let's go to the local zoo, and they got to ride an elephant, and they killed one.
Oh, also off of that, New Hampshire is one of the few states in America that doesn't have a zoo. No zoo in New Hampshire.
They got to have a petting zoo.
There's no state zoo
like
with
official
wild
zoo?
animals. Yeah, there's no exotic wild animals.
You don't always know about your Joe Exotics, though. What your
Well,
neighbors
that's true. There
doing.
might be some.
that's true.
Might be someone in there, but
You know.
But I
never
can
know.
tell you what, right across the border, is the biggest sign for a zoo you'll ever see in New Hampshire. Sorry, Vermont. This took place in New Hampshire.
yeah.
Oh, that was almost so close to being
Yeah,
really
it
good.
was sick. It was a sick joke, too. Where the monkey steals the police car, stuntwoman Betty Thomas actually lost control of the car and hit a tree at 60 miles per hour.
That's crazy.
You actually were watching me do Unverified, and I gasped. I was like, oh my God.
Crazier
Luckily,
off
she
that,
was
though.
not injured.
Yeah, this is the crazy part, though. Director Joe Jonston pled with the paparazzi not to release the footage until after the movie came out because it would ruin production.
And they're like, wait, you work with Robin?
Fine, but we're saying you killed an elephant.
We love Robin here.
We got to give him something. We got to give him a story. Why would you pick an elephant? If you were going to lie about killing an animal,
There's zebras in there.
Out of all the stampede animals, I feel like the elephant's got to be the most endangered.
Rhino?
No, rhinos are everywhere. Go to any fucking zoo in America. You don't always see an elephant. They must be like making rhinos. Probably it's a tiger, right?
Speaking of making rhinos, the scenes with the stampede with the rhinos going through a wall, any of those, they actually built a steel rhino that they would launch through the wall, and then they just matted it in CGI afterwards. But they built just a steel
cool.
rhino had to at least like bust through everything.
Probably would have looked way better as that steel rhino than that shitty CGI.
I'm just going to say it now. Let's just talk about the CGI.
Okay, let's
this
get
should
in.
be on unverified, but I just want to talk about it now. I remember it being way better. The monkeys suck. The quicksand sucks.
Yeah.
There's a lot that
It
sucks.
aged
There's a lot
poorly.
that's good.
Well, just to tie this back in non-verified still, like, I remember so many specials like Rosie O'Donnell and just talk show hosts like going on and bringing in like the kids to talk about the amazing animatronic and CGI special effects. Like, it was a big deal when this came out.
It just proves again and again the things that aged the best from this movie were the puppets, were the makeup. Like now, I mean, it just looks bad. Although I will say, if you're making an argument for this, does it look that much work? Call back to Titanic. No, it all looked bad from back then. You just can't age.
Not all of it looks horrible. Like the monkeys look
The monkey
horrible,
faces are pretty bad.
but-
I remember those being a little less terrifying.
Yeah.
It just aged way worse. We were. I mean, we've probably seen this movie in the last few years, whatever. But
The spiders kind of suck too.
The spiders are the worst, and I actually think it's is it intentional? God, I hope so, because like you could do better than that. The three of us could have
Those
gotten
spiders
those
still scare me though. I'm scared of spiders.
No,
I'm
spiders.
not scared of toy spiders, and I don't think they should be either. And if we're talking about that scene, let's do it. That kid can't.
Hold up. Actually, I'm actually out of facts. Should we just move this on to?
I didn't have one fact
question
for
comment.
you.
Mark, what else you got? Let's move it on to questions.
Comments.
Animosities.
Just go back onto the special effects, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, literally right here. This is me taking notes during the movie. I remember the monkey's face is looking a lot better, just in general. Overall, the CGI is decent. In parentheses, edit. Just saw the quicksand scene. Woof.
They did love doing that. Oh wait, no, it's quicksand. I thought you were remembering the vanishing when bodies vanish into sand.
Just
They
even
love
like
that.
Which I do say
It
that
got worse
actually
as
isn't
I went on.
terrible.
That
Very
wasn't too
page
bad.
mastery effect, if I'm not mistaken. Though.
Well, you might remember this from the live action portion of Page Master. The quicksand was rough, but the practical
Just
effect,
rippling wood.
the practical effect though of getting stuck in wood still kills.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you can.
You get a lot of
cut out
funny
some holes.
Robin Williams there too in that scene.
Really, the end is the only time he starts to shine when he's like Clue. You know, it's a game that's like when he starts kind of shining through.
No, I do you agree with this? That
I feel like that's Joe Jonston letting him letting the line out a little bit. 'Cause I think
Trickle down on verified. He was a little worried
Yeah.
casting Robin Williams because he wasn't afraid he would. He'd heard that he loves to ad lib, and he was afraid he wouldn't be able to hone him in and follow the script. But
he was also afraid. I'm guessing that he's like, I can't stop it if he does
Right.
it. It's just gonna be a bitch
the part
for
where he's
editing.
blowing away the spiders out of the corner of his mouth. I just laugh at that every time. I do.
Right, we all agree, though, as big and as wild as Robin Williams wants to get, and obviously that's a talent. He's at best when he hones it in and harnesses it, and most people are probably, right?
Yep.
yeah,
In fact, that's a Martin Short note I have. I hate when he's on the whole time, but if you can just get him like used correctly, it hits.
Who's that? Martin Short?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's too much for me a lot of the time, but when he hones it in, it's good.
What were you thinking about the CGI though? Did you have any point about that?
it's gotten to the point though where like it's nostalgic now. It's dated itself to the fact that it's so bad that I enjoy seeing it, which is kind of
Yeah.
nice. So there are the practical effects that still work. They worked at the time. It's fun just seeing the animatronic lion and like the puppetry alligators and stuff like that. But seeing those ridiculously terrifying monkey faces is also kind of nice. You know, it's not good.
They had
but
like 24 teeth.
It's nostalgic.
I do want to say though, at
Two
the
sets of
time,
12.
I think it seemed awesome. Probably.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I think everybody thought this is great.
Again, all the talk
Myself
shows at the
included.
time were just like going on about the special effects and bringing on the teams to show us the animatronic spiders.
That was the
lion
worst
head.
looking mosquito I've ever seen in my life. That That game still gives me the shivers.
Poking through the glass is ridiculous with it. There's just so
If
many.
we're talking about grossest thing, this isn't most movies, but when plants come to life in vines and a
Photosynthesis.
poisonous plant scares me more than a spider.
No.
A sentient plant? Is a sentient the right word? Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's kind of freaky.
I fucking hate a sentient plant that has
I've
a
got
motive.
chills.
I don't like it at all. It really, really
What do you
makes
think
me
of M. Night
uncomfortable.
Shyamalan's The Happening?
Nobody ever has. Oh, the wind? Yeah, we heard about
Trees
it.
kill-
Or that one guy's Netflix special, The Corn. Or what was it called?
Oh, Tall Grass?
The grass.
Tall Grass.
There's a difference, animosity, between teaching your kid to stand up for himself and sending him out to a beating with like 20 kids.
Yeah,
Granted, he didn't know, but
They didn't know that in the 60s, though.
well,
Or up until, like, a
couple years ago.
till recently.
No, he was still watching like from his office on the window, just like,
my boy's gonna be a man after this.
yep, sending him to Crawford's
Cliffside.
Cliffside.
I don't think
Don't know why
that
that's
Alan
not-
Parrish was going to, without spending 26 years in Jumanji, was going to grow up to be a good person, but he would have been successful.
Well, okay, this is like maybe jumping ahead, but since you're bringing this up, he's coming back just with night terrors and all sorts of problems. That moment when Alan Parrish breaks down to Peter, you don't know fear. You've never been like asleep at night and hearing things being eaten alive next to you. Like, he's been through too much to be a normal person.
True.
Yeah, he'll never be good. In fact, one of the funnest things, I understand why.
I've seen Castaway.
Don't
Hey.
get me started on that. That he's not going to be okay either. I don't care if he like took a little cruise on a gravel road at the end. It's not fine. Like nothing's going to be good. Let's just hope that UPS or FedEx it was, I guess, just takes care of him for the rest of his life because he is not good.
Don't worry, we saved your job for you.
Actually, before we get too far away from the beginning of the movie, I just want to say those Parrish ones, those are sick as fuck.
Oh,
Gotta
those,
talk
those
about
Parrish
that. Yeah,
fives,
we gotta
whatever we're
talk
calling
about
those.
It disgusts me how ahead of the time it is. I wish it would have been a little more reasonable. I get it. It was cool at the
Still,
time.
hold
but
on. That's pretty fucking sick.
like,
Oh, yeah.
show me
Pretty
him
sick.
making that out of the spare leather parts around. You know what I mean? Give me like a cruder version of that.
the Chamberlain ones.
You are talking. So you guys were talking and bringing up about how much the board game, the original board game goes, and then the set piece board game.
Yep.
I would pay more for the Parrish ones than any other set piece.
yes.
Actually, you know what would be actually really sick to get from this movie? A crew like jacket. You know, like how they make those Letterman jackets? It'd be all Jumanji on the back. I bet that'd be so cool. I'd wear that right now. I bet
That
it
is
was.
so not cool.
Oh, it'd be so awesome. Got some. It's like a Letterman jacket, but
No,
Jumanji.
I get it.
we know it.
We know what you said.
Loved it. Oh, do you want a little animosity about a little young Alan Parrish? Mm-hmm. You got to get off work sites. You got to get the hell off the factory floor, and you cannot go to a construction zone. You got what you asked for.
Also,
26
hey,
years of Jumanji.
big animosity. Hey, anybody else hear those fucking bongos?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Those
turns out
tribal bongos?
Jumanji chooses you.
Oh, do they?
I don't know.
Sarah,
Seems like it.
Sarah Whittle, as a child, did.
She heard it.
She heard it too?
I think so, right?
I don't know that she did. I
Yeah,
mean,
she heard it.
She got the horns. I know that. You mess with the bull, you're gonna get the horns. You mess with
true.
Jumanji, you're gonna get some bats to chase you down the street.
Question to you. Would you be willing to move into a murder house that was essentially a mansion if it's dirt cheap? What are the circumstances that you'd be willing to move into that?
Bleeding walls is where I move out.
Along with
That's
that
it.
animosity, just like, there'd be no reason, as cheap as it is, like for that lady to move in with like her brother's kids. Like,
That's a huge animosity. That's such a huge house for this new situation in like a new town. Like, just get a small
she
rental.
brought
Weird
it up.
move right off the
She's-
bat.
There's some dialogue. She's gonna make it into a bed and breakfast.
So maybe
okay,
do
so
that.
what is she gonna do with the other like 5-bed, 2-bath that she has left?
I think a house, when you have that much house and you're not able to contain it, is you murder your children. You chop them up and put them in the walls.
Well, how shitty is it also to be like, guys, I'm really sorry your parents died, but don't worry, a bunch of strangers are going to live in this house with us now.
I think we know this much. Best case scenario, if you
And
get
you're gonna cook them eggs.
Yeah.
if you get a mansion for the price of like, a small house, best case scenario is it's got a lot of plumbing problems and it's drafty and it's just cost too much. But it's either haunted or there's, death.
Yeah.
There's death in that house. I mean,
Or just bad associated history, like, it was owned by a Nazi.
Animosity about Alan Parrish, young Alan Parrish.
I got tons of them. I won't stop.
My biggest one is that like Cameron hates Mitch from Dazed and Confused. I hate young Alan Parrish. I don't know why.
Well, this is seeming undeserved.
We're pro bullies in this one.
Super pro bully.
Rough him up.
Rough him up.
Him and his rich dad running the town. He gets what's coming.
He's a Parrish.
I do have an animosity about that. The quickest solution to that is like, Dad, can you fire Billy whatever's dad real quick and like the following people? They're being
like, I
ruin
can't
his
do
life.
that, but I will fire the soul man. It's like, Dad, that's not what I was asking for. And I'm like, whoa.
With the prototype that got the Parrish one.
ones, yeah.
That got destroyed. Did he have a right shoe, or did he only have a left shoe? Did we have a pair?
I did
We
wonder that
only had
myself.
enough rubber material for 1 foot.
He did try to sell it, put him in a Shark Tank moment. It's like, but you only made one shoe. It's like, but you could picture the other one.
I will say it doesn't say. It looks like he's maybe going for the box of shoes, so there could be another shoe.
If this is 1960,
Well, Mark, that's the problem. He did have the other shoe, and then he did continue the pitch. He's like, now, this is what broke that $3,000 machine downstairs.
You're right.
I still think he could have made the pitch with the shoe. It's like, hear me out. I know that we put.
Yeah, like look at this.
It's pretty much this, just less tattered. And maybe you like, if you
Way
like
less
tattered,
do you
we
like
can do tattered.
Funny enough, in 2020, tattered is like a thing.
Better case
You don't
scenario
know now,
for.
but it will be a thing.
It's a better case scenario for Carl, though. He was working at a shoe factory. Now he doesn't. get
Now
to
he's a
be-
cop?
As a cop?
Well, like, what
No,
was,
I mean we're agreeing with you. I
Yeah.
Should have
think.
been a fireman.
but we all just thought that he was gonna like become a multi-billionaire. How come we don't settle up what happened to him at the end of the movie?
He plays guitar at the end of the Christmas party.
He does.
He
He
stayed
does.
So
with
it
the
didn't
Parrish
take
shoe company.
off?
Well,
We also-
no. If you hear Alan at the end, he's like, Dad, no, we have the new cross trainer coming out. So it seems like maybe the whole like his shoe thing did happen.
Okay.
Well, hold on.
So he
There
just
is a
works
deleted.
There's a-
Have
this
you
isn't
seen the
me
deleted
assu-
scene
No.
of the ending, the alternate ending?
No.
No, I did not.
This could be a Mandela effect. Do you remember this? Where they actually like open the
The
presents
shoe?
he gives them, and it's actually shoes. They're called the Jumanjis.
Oh no, I don't. I wish.
I don't remember that, but it's
So apparently in 2017, there's a Blu-ray like re-release
Of the
with
alternate
ending, and it's them opening up the shoes. Yeah,
huh, interesting.
I think there's a little more about like don't go to Canada, don't go to
Right.
this,
Yeah.
don't get in the car
Oh,
crash.
can I talk about that?
That whole
Just
thing is
that
so
little bit
weird,
of scene.
but-
It's weird that
The ending is fucked for me, by the way. Just preface like
Let's hold off on the end.
Okay,
There's
okay,
so
okay.
many
Yeah,
issues
you're right,
with
you're
that.
right, you're right.
But
and,
just
and,
going,
and when we don't get back to it, listeners, you know,
our bad.
whatever.
we know it's fucked though.
Yeah.
Our animosity. I'm Alan Parrish. I just come back out of the game. There's not a chance in hell I'm going to play that again. Like, oh, you just mean there's some mosquitoes and some monkeys out? Not my problem.
Right.
Yeah, we can
I'm
roll
back.
with this.
He's not even thinking about the game. He's like his parents just died. Like he is so fucked.
I do have questions about the gameplay and stuff, and maybe it'll get too nitpicky. If I know you have to finish the game, otherwise you're going to deal with whatever Jumanji throws out at you.
Mm-hmm.
But once you're, is it going to throw out anything at you if you don't roll? Because Alan was just trapped in there for 26 years, right?
Maybe more of the thing.
It just won't stop
Well,
coming.
I think, yeah, they'll just be monkey. I don't
Yeah,
think
like
more will
Alan's
come,
had to
but just
deal with,
like,
like-
those 10 monkeys are going to be
and the
around.
bats.
So
Well, yeah, the bats were still there like 26 years
It
later.
was just the bats.
they should have just stopped playing the game and be like, yeah, it's going to stampede around here for a while, but we're going to fucking move from this town. And
Yeah.
Ooh, Alan Parrish is just Batman.
I see him, though, being like much more looking like a bat in his costume.
They're
Yeah.
the Parishes. They're kind of like the.
Oh, yeah, there's lots of Bruce Wayne
there's-
crossover.
They have a
for
big
sure.
mansion. They seem to have died young.
Wayne.
I mean, he's borderline got the origin story of Batman if they would have just gone to the opera.
Oh,
we got that feel written all
Also,
over
just kind of rude of that homeless guy when Alan Parrish is like, "Do you still see my parents?" Like, "Oh, I see him sometimes." Just
Wild
maybe,
move, wild.
maybe say, "Oh no, they're dead," but I passed the gravestone
Yeah,
sometimes.
but you know that guy later on in the day was like, sick burn. Sick burn. Freddie really got
Well,
that.
Hey,
Or
what
he
he
just-
say exactly? He's like, I see him sometimes, or like every once
I see
in a
him
while.
every day. I walk past him every
What we
day.
didn't see is the rest of that scene when he turns around. He's like, "I'll be right there, Mr. President," and he's just talking to thin air.
Where he's like, actually, no, it's the one on Franklin. It's not the other one that you're thinking.
Oh, I do have a question. They don't explain what happened to his parents because they should be alive still. It's
Yeah.
only 26 years.
Died of heart.
Yeah, you know,
Just
drunk.
of shame and
Yeah,
the stress
you know,
of like
just-
murdering your kid and getting away with
It
it.
is odd that they left everything in that house.
Well, a cursed house is
The
a cursed
bloody
house.
shirt. Yeah.
Well, yeah, even like his clothes and stuff. Well, why would his bloody
would've been-
shirt from that
if
day
you-
be in there?
He put like all his money into looking for young Alan, So why would like they leave the room without it being investigated like evidence?
Okay, you're telling me that the rich snob guy in town kills his son, goes crazy, and leaves everything in his mansion, and then the town people aren't going to go in there and raid that mansion? That's all. I'm saying.
That mansion's been raided, but it's like, what do you want to do with a bloody old shirt?
There's so much in there still. They barely raided.
I mean, everybody in the town seems to think it's pretty
Cursy.
So,
Actually, I'm just thinking about this now. The trope where like things were better off if you weren't born kind of gives me It's a Wonderful Life vibes. And the end with the sneaky Christmas movie. What are we thinking?
Oh, no, not at all.
This movie here? No, but I do want to say
December 15th.
That is true, though. Well, family vibes.
I do want to say in the props in defense of our podcast, this is a great fall movie.
Really
gives
is.
you fall feels. It's not the foliage, but you can see the breaths. It's not that sunny. It's a good in-betweener movie.
Yeah.
I actually respect the release date. Oh, it made $228 million at the box office.
Not too
So,
shabby.
Jesus Christ.
They were
Was
trying
Robin
to make
Williams
a sequel.
pulling those numbers at that time?
Think about this. I don't have the exact years, but he's coming off. This is when he moves into
you're right.
his big budget, family friendly movies before he gets completely
So
dramatic.
is this like why people are coming to the movie? Robin Williams? Is
Yeah,
that what you're
definitely.
Yeah. At least pretty big
You got this, Mrs. Doubtfire around the same time, Aladdin, Flubber's about to follow, and we're like, we've had enough, but
Thank you.
Mark's favorite.
Mark's
Thank you.
favorite.
Appreciate
No,
that.
he's obviously in the sweet spot of like this family friendly but big budget exciting movie. So do you want to hear if I wrote a sketch how I would do this?
Sure.
Obviously, you can't realistically depict what Alan Parrish would be like coming out of there because he'd be crazy, super crazy, right? I do think the funny sketch would be if he comes out of there, he changes his clothes and he gets shaves, but all his thought processes are still in 1965 or 69.
So he's just like just an old racist white guy?
Yeah, well, not the racist part, but like a woman working, like stuff like that.
Gotcha.
You know, that's it. Not racist. That's not what I was saying.
Also, just comment props to him, though. For first time shaving and cutting his own hair from like crazy bush
The
to
hair
like
is
this,
more impressive.
The hair's the most impressive.
He had to have found some sort of razor or clippers.
And
no?
that's the only thing. They're rusty and 26 years old because everything's just abandoned there from his father. So like that ain't gonna be good.
No.
Yeah, that's
true. Didn't even think about that.
that's the most unbelievable thing.
Or he used like a 1995 woman's leg razor, like a disposable from the Ant or something. But super lucky that Sarah Whittle stayed in town. I mean,
No.
you think
what? Sarah
Whittle? I mean, you think that traumatic thing ruined her life? She'd
26 years
get out
ago.
of there like maybe a year later, be like, "Well, I'm leaving and never coming back."
I got to call out Sarah Whittle and all the therapy she's talked about. Mm-hmm. Somebody should have suggested you move the fuck out of town.
Yeah.
If you've had such... And definitely move out of that house.
Wait, you're starting a what? You're starting a psychic business? You're gonna read palms, are
Oh
you?
yeah. If anyone really needed a restart, Alan Parrish wasn't doing good, but this is huge for her. She's like,
huge.
Oh, she's like, oh, thank God.
Finally
that was
some
a rough
clarity.
26 years.
yeah, it was.
I do want to say, though, Bonnie Hunt, she's funny as shit in this movie.
Yeah, she is.
Like, she kills in, like, the three things I really know her from, but she's very funny.
The whole when she like realizes she has to start playing the game, that's when she's best.
She turns on. Ooh, do you guys want to talk about gameplay? Because I do have some questions about gameplay.
Yep.
Me too, because like for instance, they do roll out of order a few times and the game just doesn't do anything, and they're like, oh, like, but then later when Peter does it, it's like, you're fucking with me now, you're a monkey.
And you cheated. I feel like they were fucking with him. Maybe there is no gameplay. It's like one of you could have just kept rolling, you dipshits. Read the rules. Nobody read the rules.
Even though they're just printed on both sides of the board, you just got to flip it. You would assume it's the same thing on both sides, though. It's a little tricky that it's split between the sides.
Alan Parrish is an expert of what Jumanji can throw at you because he's been trapped in there for 26 years, right?
Bad roll, by the way.
Tough roll.
Tough first
Worst roll of the game.
Bad roll.
I mean,
And then to stop playing the game for how long? You know, what I
It
mean,
really isn't a good roll, but I mean...
that's the worst.
That's the worst roll.
I mean, that's the worst roll they showed
bad
us.
roll.
Bad roll.
Yeah.
Like the worst roll. Except though, you should normally.
I'm
just
thinking
have,
of all the rolls that we've at least experienced. Bad roll.
what was the actual die roll.
Something about 5 or 8.
Here's the deal,
Jungle
though.
will seal your fate.
All right, say 3 people were playing rather than just him and Sarah at the beginning. He would have been out of there in like 10 years. There's another person. I don't know how long it takes to get a 5 and an 8.
Well,
think
apparently when he's
either
getting
or,
sucked in, he does yell, Sarah, roll!
Good goddamn it, Sarah roll.
So it would have been pretty helpful if she at least maybe did
Was
one
there
more.
any
Well,
good
that's how-
times for
yeah,
him
wow.
inside Jumanji? Did you find like a nice Hakuna Matata moment, like some lagoons and eating bugs?
No.
I didn't see
It's
it.
a goddamn horror
It's
show.
a constant Hunger Games situation. So here's the question I have. Though. I was trickling down.
Suck.
He's an expert in the game, but he's really just been trapped on like in Jumanji.
Right.
How does he know? Is he getting chased by the hunter the whole time? Is there stampedes at every corner? What's going on in his Jumanji?
It doesn't
think
seem
it
like it
sucks.
would be well, because like he knows who Van Pelt is, but like and he does seem to hate him, but he even says like Alan rolled, you didn't kind of thing. So he's only going after him because of the roll. So
Okay.
But being stuck in Jumanji is just like a living hell every day, every
I
second.
think it's just living in a jungle. I think it'd be just as bad as if you and me were now just.
Some days you have
dropped
to
in
deal
a-
with the lions. Some days, there's Van Pelt's after me. Some, shit, I'm in the.
I don't think it's as all necessarily after him, but he's just with him.
Okay, so he just lives in a jungle.
Yeah.
But it's not like a terror every second
Yes.
because it's a jungle.
Yes.
I think you're dealing with you're dealing with
I think
something.
both are true.
Okay.
Maybe not all at once though. Is what I think is what you're going after.
No, I don't even know. I've been just trying to figure out what's going on for Alan inside Jumanji. Is he getting chased by everything Jumanji has?
It's just an episode of Naked and Afraid if you and me were dropped there instead of someone who has a little bit of skill. Terrifying.
Terrifying.
I didn't pick up on this until like, I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago watching it. I kind of thought the town was just going crazy because all the animals, and I didn't pick up on all the looting and the fact that there was so much
heavy
just,
looting
like,
town.
I didn't pick up on how Biff World dark the town
Ghost
got.
of Christmas Past type shit.
Yeah, the town got pretty dark and crappy.
Maybe that town, though, is because of gameplay in an alternative universe.
The fact that there's just been bats there for
They were
years
leaning on the
and-
parishes hard.
Yeah.
Well,
They
that's
needed
also
those
true.
parish ones to come out bad.
Would you guys... No, we shouldn't talk about if we'd loot or not.
I would.
Okay, yeah, me too. I mean, in my small town.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What do you think is the most iconic thing to come out of the game that you remember as like either?
Monkey or the Stampede, maybe.
I think Stampede for me.
Oh, that you mean as gameplay? That's the biggest one. But for whatever reason, the lion really sticks in my head for being a big part of this movie, bigger than it really was. Lucky for them, that lion just wanted to take a nap all movie.
Yeah, pretty much just chilled in a room.
He's like, whatever.
We were kind of talking about this earlier, but the game pretty much gives you a warning every time you roll of immediately leave the vicinity because that danger's coming here. So it seems like if you just rolled, ran, read what's happening, and
I don't
maybe
know,
jumped
though.
straight in a car, could I not just could we hop out of the car, roll the dice in the parking lot?
Oh, just outrun the game.
Yeah,
Continuously be on the move.
Read what's about to come, and then drive off to a new parking lot and just do that 10 times quick.
So hear me out. Like it feels like the vines and like the Venus flytrap type things were just only in the house because they were in the house, right?
It did venture out and eventually to get the cop car. So,
That's
it's in
what I
the
think.
vicinity.
I don't think it
vicinity.
matters. Like I think if
I
you're
think
outside,
eventually
imagine a
Jumanji's
monsoon
gonna
actually
catch-
outside instead of inside of a house.
I 100% agree with you.
It must follow
but I
you
think
wherever-
It
Jumanji's
follows you.
Oh,
Yeah, the hunter
stay
follows you the whole
inside.
time.
I
Yeah.
agree with that, but they're following you within reason and in 1920s fashion of just very slowly. So I think if we got to
Stampede every, 15
1995,
minutes.
if we got in the
Yeah,
car
time
and
it
just
out.
drove away from all
It's just like
these
the
things,
daily train. You got to plan for that.
roll, read, run, get in the car, drive
people.
away.
Well, the
Triple R.
The
Never heard of
real
it.
the real move would be everybody just get through your fucking rolls.
Yeah.
Just roll until you can't roll no
Animosity.
more.
That's what
Short
I'm saying.
game.
Just do
I
that
think
on
it's
the
like a
run.
four turn game for
It really
everybody.
is.
And
yeah.
that might have been a complaint with Megan. It's like it's a real short game when there's no monsters chasing you. But this game should not have lasted 26 years. It should have lasted 20 minutes.
No, it's all Sarah Whittle's fault.
Yeah, it's Sarah Margaret.
Well, actually, no, tough because Alan does get sucked into the game.
yeah, let's blame Alan a little bit.
I mean, how does he roll? That's tough. What do we do there?
Well, it's Alan's
Loophole.
fault ultimately.
So would she have just been getting turned? What if she never rolled
turn
it? She
after
just had to
turn?
keep oh my God, there's a lion and a zebra and some monkeys. And
Just deal with it
But
all
here's the
yourself.
deal, though. If
He rolled an 8. There he is.
we're nitpicking, she's not getting chased by bats for 26 years. She got
No.
just chased. They eventually went away.
Actually, that's why she's crazy. They did stick to her.
She's doing pretty well.
She's
given
killed-
the
That's what the game
circumstances.
should do, though.
She's killed 26.
Chase you the whole time.
They should have made that a thing where, like,
It kills you or you kill it.
well, she's just dealing with bats. Like, she's the bat
Well,
lady.
that's your
She's
Batman
Batman.
origin. There's your origin. I got sick thoughts. Sick thoughts. She's holding it together pretty well. She just seems like a
Very
divorcee.
well.
Yeah, she's
as much as she should just be mad and crazy. She should not be living in that house unless they made that an
Immediately-
asylum and it's padded.
animosity. Alan didn't have to handcuff the cop. He didn't have to handcuff the cop. He was on his side.
No.
He was even like, I'm going to regret this, but like, I believe you. And then he immediately fucks him. Like, he could have been a help the rest of the movie.
I do believe he was trying to keep him safe in theory, but he should have used him and his resources.
And keeping him safe is like, don't worry, you're trapped to this car while all these vicious animals are on the loose. You'll be fine.
What I'm about to bring up is going to be the end of the movie, and my biggest animosity with the character's choice and movie.
Right.
And it's not the Christmas scene; it's right before that. It's when Sarah and Alan get back as kids into the 60s. You got to burn that fucking game. You can't just throw it in a crick.
You got to imagine it's like a possessed thing. You can't really get rid of it. And also...
but they didn't try.
I would at least...
They're like, that's
like
the end of that.
I would at
worked.
most want it out of my...
Somehow it worked.
That's true.
What do you mean?
It got to Egypt or
not their
wherever it
problem
fucking
anymore.
went to.
Yeah, but now it's Egypt's problem. I'm saying they should have made it nobody's problem. All right, that's true.
That's the boomers. That's how they.
They didn't try too hard.
It's not our
say, but
That's
at
true.
the
It's
same
somebody
time,
else's problem. Send it
boomers.
overseas.
But at the same time, wouldn't you kind of just at least try to get it out of town? Like, well, I really hope this doesn't come back.
You probably would have like gone out of the room and like come back into me rolling again. Like, I'm sorry, I just started playing again. I couldn't help myself.
I would
It's
say
such a
I would
fun
just
game.
keep it in the house and never play again, but you know that drumming would just be constant.
Real question: say you keep the board.
That's right.
Do you have to use the dice that come with the game, or any dice can be used?
Oh, because if you lose them, what happens then?
Then you're just fucked. It's best that Alan didn't get to live in that reality because he couldn't have handled it. One, they would have to somehow bring his identity back from the dead. I mean, he's been missing for 26 years. I'm sure that happens sometimes. Though.
I've been in the house the whole time.
Technically, yeah. I guess he's just been in the attic, like in Jumanji or wherever the fuck that.
Okay, my point was the kids in 1869 did a better job hiding it than I think you're right. Throwing it in the river system, letting it anybody
Especially
grab it.
Shallow, like right over
especially in
just a brook.
comparison, because that was a much smaller world, so they really got out there outside of their small community in that time period to like bury it. Secondly,
Also, that has to be like right next to like the Mississippi. I don't know where else it was. Like,
yeah, for sure. I completely forgot that whole part of the movie
Hampshire,
started.
And how much?
Do
I
you guys
did not
remember that at all?
Don't remember the beginning at all.
If we had a Mount Rushmore of like moments of movies you never even remember to being part of it, that would be on mine.
And how much does it suck already fighting for survival in 1860? Then you pick up a game that just brings more hardship upon you in your Pioneer.
Not only
hey,
that,
they finished it though.
Yeah, they did, not the other 6 kids they were playing with.
but not only that, like board
Van
games.
Pelt still a thing, or is it just 1869?
That's what I was
jungle
curious
shit?
about. It is like,
Oh, he was from the future. He's like, he's got these amazing guns. It's like an elephant gun. That would be terrible.
Well, him going back with like now Van Pelt's got a fucking AR-15 with a
He's about to
silencer and
tear
a
up-
scope.
He's gonna tear up and settle some wrongdoings once he gets back to Jumanji. Got a real
reminds
question
me
though. If we go back to the 1869 past or whatever with these, they were kids, right?
Right.
In their time period, they didn't even have fun games. They're like, you cannot
That's what I'm
blame them
saying.
to play a board game. That would have been all the talk. That's a World Fair discussion, like we're talking about. Like a board game in that time period would have been amazing. Just dice and movements.
Oh,
it would have
that
been
is
great.
chess
I'm saying.
and checkers.
It's been such a great. Anyway.
So we've already kind of talked about it, but the house is dangerous. Like, it's annoying they keep going back to it, let alone just like staying in their same spot the whole time. But it's aggravating in the end I want to get to the spiders here when they don't get
Again,
to
I think
anybody.
the house is a better spot to have the problem confined rather than like having just a shit ton of spiders.
That's
in
true.
the
You
world.
could just switch rooms. Like, I guess just shut the door, go
have
to a
an
new
axe
room.
on you.
It's probably more of a balancing act. There's going to be a point in time where the house and Jumanji overwhelms you that you'd have to get out of the house. But they could have waited longer.
True. But I'm angry at the end when he's like, quick, go run all the way down 3 levels to the shed to get an axe because there's a spider right here in front of my
There's
fucking
8
face.
spiders right here.
Like, by the time Peter came back, they would have been eaten. They would have been dead.
It does give me one of my
The look into the camera.
the fourth wall
action
break.
thing.
I do. I like that. I do.
It's
I
odd,
always
though,
liked
that
it from a kid.
It never came. That's the only one in the movie, though, right?
Sure is.
It kind of comes out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Shouldn't even be there.
Oh, I do enjoy it.
But I like it.
Right before that scene brings up a really a big question I had watching at this viewing. What's going on? How bad does his tail hurt trying to escape?
Yeah.
And if that's the problem, just teak him down a little.
Take him down, like figure it out, buddy.
Figure something out.
Anyway.
Like, I think
Drop
if you're
him down.
mostly monkey, there's a certain point where you can just take your pants off, and it's just like, I'm more animal than man
The
now.
embarrassing thing is I would have done it too early, and like that's still human.
That's
dick.
a human dick.
That's a human dick. I
Hasn't-
was gonna say a little boy's dick, but I didn't want to say that. But he's a little boy.
So we have talked about the trauma that clearly these two are going to be in, Alan and
Sarah Whittle.
Sarah Whittle. But it is pretty sweet that they get a Narnia just second life, and they seem to remember everything.
Oh yeah, like total. Jumanji it takes away and it gives back. If you beat the game, you get a do-over.
Like, yeah, you have those 26 years of complete fear and rage and anger and being alone. But hey, look, now you get to be a kid again.
Well, you
It's
know
like
how
With those same feelings inside of
Post
you.
nut clarity. It's like post Jumanji clarity.
it's just
You know
like
what, though?
that.
Even with the
That
reboot...
was a tagline. Post nut clarity. Jumanji coming December 15th. Oh, that was actually unintentional. It was a happy accident. That one was
He
planned.
keeps going.
There we go. Keep that in. Or don't. Whatever.
Keep that in. Time travel at the end. The ending pisses me off. It really does. I don't know who is supposed to remember what.
Here's why it's annoying. Because the kids are talking when they get back into the past where our memories are fading. I want to kiss you before I forget being an adult. And then like, nah, they remember everything.
Yeah, well, no, but turns out it just stayed.
You say Jumanji giveth, it taketh. I think it should taketh, and you don't
But
get that
if
life
you-
back.
if you win,
are
though,
now.
Well,
if you
Mark, we
win-
don't know how many kids have not finished Jumanji. Jumanji's finished the kids.
Yeah, that's true. They did finish the game, and that seems to be
we
the
do
only
know
thing.
from at least the reboot that it seems a popular thing for Jumanji to suck at least one player in for an extended period of time.
Oh, you're gonna
about
get
that.
sucked in, yeah.
You're getting into that
Someone's
lately.
getting sucked. We know that much about Jumanji.
Someone's getting.
Oh, speaking of which, comment. The dad's pretty chill at the end of him leaving for 5 minutes, coming back, and there's a random girl in the living room with Alan. Like, no.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't like a great display of parenting.
Well, I mean, granted, he is like a bad 60s dad. He's trying to, teach his son to not to cry and chin up. And he's like, oh, but you got a girl in the living
Yeah, I'm
room.
pretty sure he's like, I didn't think you had it in you.
Yeah, okay,
Like,
you're
I'm
right,
sure
yeah.
he's like, whatever, I was mad at, and I still am because I hate
It is heartwarming. I'll say that part always is kind of like, yeah,
How
warms
about
your heart a
father
little
to
bit.
son, Mark?
Yeah.
He's like, no.
No, you're a man now, and damn
I'm
it,
not
you'll
gonna
speak to me like one.
And by the way, I'm still firing Carl.
So I wish you could take.
Or it's like, I'm glad you told me, son, but it's too late
No,
about
he's
Carl.
still
I've already
gone.
let him go.
Not only
A Parrish doesn't go back on his word.
the good thing is we are taking that design, and I'm gonna make us
we
millions
stole
and
the
millions.
fuck out of that.
It is now the Parrish ones for sure, forever and ever and always.
This was a big nostalgic movie, and it's aged nicely for us, both badly and well with the CGI. But let us know if there's anything major we missed here, any plot points or any just crazy things in this movie. But we're going to move on to recasting.
Nice and tight.
The lowest person I did is the mom, the Parrish mom. This is totally just because of Hook, but I did Carolyn Goodall. She plays Moira from Hook.
Moira.
I did not have that, so I'll take that. I like
That's
that.
no problem. Who do you guys have as the dad? Because I'm guessing you guys did that / Van Pelt.
2-part person, got to play the same part.
Yep.
I think I have a good one. I
do
did
too.
think maybe most about this one because I'm like, I gave. Anyway, Tim Curry.
Big Bears cheer. Sorry,
Yeah, so
off the
sorry.
record. This seems very good.
Yeah, something happened.
This sucks. If you're listening out there, it's not
Thing
a
is,
bad take.
Oh, you got like cucked by the Bears.
I did get cucked. God damn it. I came in, I told Megan, my fiance, I'm like, this is gonna kill. And it sure didn't. But if you're listening out there, think about it. Just write us.
It
That one's
works. Yeah, I mean, Tim-
no, it doesn't just work, it's good.
Tim Curry is a consistent recasting for the cult classic.
Oh,
He's a-
jeez.
well, I was just gonna say he's a
Just burying.
No, it's a
All
great
right,
pick.
all right,
It's a
that's
great
up.
pick. That sucks because I actually think it's better than my pick. Do you want to go?
I did Charles Shaughnessy. He's the
Charles
dad
Shaughnessy.
from The Nanny / Mom's Got a Date with the Vampire.
I got you.
He's
Voice,
just very
very-
proper, yeah, somewhat. But also, actually, Mark, go real quick.
Alan Rickman.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I like that.
I was thinking of Mr.
I like
Mr.
Alan
Malfoy.
Rickman.
Because I think you could play the both. Like he could
Equally
play
as
Van
good.
Pelt like really well.
I
Almost
actually
better
like,
than the dad.
I like him as the dad quite a bit.
Yeah?
That cold, mean dad.
Cold mean.
I mean, Snape.
I have two, but one's already done the kind of double role. I thought Jason Isaacs, but he's also done the Captain Hook, Peter Pan kind of like dad role before.
If we're doing Captain Hook, then we'll probably Christopher Walken from the live TV version.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, just to recap, I did say Tim Curry, and it's good.
Okay.
Tim Curry's good. I think it actually wins. That's the thing. What sucks.
Tim Curry wins.
It's a good one. It
I
really is.
lost in a big way.
Who'd you have for Bentley? That would be the cop.
Will Smith.
Okay. Time period wise, that's right. It's right in the money. I had someone else, but I think it was just the mustache. But I switched mine to Lamorne Morris. He plays Winston on New Girl.
Nice.
I love that. Yeah, that's a good one.
I know I bring it up a lot, but Meg was watching a Netflix movie that he's in, like a romantic comedy.
Oh, nice.
I went Tim Meadows.
Okay.
Time period around. Plus, I like Timmy Meadows.
Because of the mustache, I wanted to do Carl Weathers, and I had to do a rethink on that one. I was like, it's not a.
That would have been great.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know.
All right.
I like
I would have liked to see
better.
Carl Winslow, the fictional character, in there too. Just toss him in from Family Matters.
What about Aunt Nora?
I'll get mine out of the way because I thought about casting a lot. I'm just gonna do my. If you're drinking out there, take one. Carla Gugino.
She's got to be in someone's each week.
And it took me a lot to not recast her as.
I didn't this week because I figured somebody would. Mark, who'd you have?
I'm not in love with the pick, and I realize why it's incepting me now. It's because we did Scream at the start of the Halloween season. I'm doing Courtney Cox.
I thought you were going to do Nev Campbell.
I don't mind either of those.
Nev Campbell, yeah, okay.
Courtney Cox is fine with
Courtney
me.
Cox.
I just
Sort of just
hit
like
high. I did Sandra Bullock. Just
As the aunt, I
Yeah.
get it. She could play that role.
she can
but
do
it seems-
anything. Yeah, so it's
Sure.
whatever. I don't know. I don't love it. Obviously, my bad. But isn't she great?
Yeah, she's the best. Yeah,
you didn't
Way to go.
sell that well, but you could have maybe sold me on that.
Because I don't. I mean, I don't love it.
Could she have played that role? Yes.
Yes.
Let me see.
Who'd you have as Peter?
I'll go mine first. It's not inspired. I do it, but I still think it'd be good. I think young Fred Savage, specifically age group. I'm gonna go with
That's pretty good.
Princess
actually.
Bride, Fred Savage.
That's pretty good right there. Mark,
you.
who'd you have?
Joseph Mazzello,
Name's familiar. Who's that?
little brother in Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah,
That's probably better than
both
mine.
of those are great. And I was going to initially say the little brother from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but I've done him, and I just did a throwaway Jonathan Lipnicki.
Which one's he?
He's in Stuart Little. He was the
I
little
hate that one.
Little
Yeah.
vampire like that little fucker.
I hate that one a lot. That kid, that kid's only good in one role, and it just.
What about
he wrote it.
J double T, JTT?
I like.
Taylor
Oh,
Thomas?
of course, I
Yeah,
love that.
Taylor
That
Thomas.
would be a perfect one. I thought
Yeah.
about it too. The kid from the Santa Claus is also probably a pretty good one in there.
Sure.
Yeah, I can see it.
Mine was a shitty one. Who'd you have as Judy?
Judy. I think I have a good one.
Who do you got?
I'll let you say yours first in case we have the same one.
I went opposite. I went Emmy Rossum.
Okay. She's from Shameless.
Oh, but like from her snow day or whatever.
yeah, she was
that
also
movie is.
she was in a Disney made-for-TV movie. She was a kid actor.
Yeah.
Phantom of the Megaplex or like Phantom of
Phantom
the
of the
Opera?
Opera.
Phantom of the
Nice,
Opera.
I get that. I didn't know her before. I know I was alive during it, but I like that.
Who do you have?
So I think mine was the obvious one. Maybe I went Christina Ricci.
Christina.
Oh, I did not have that. That's,
Oh, okay. I thought that other
I
people
forgot
time
about her.
period.
That's a
She's in
great one.
another movie from '95, Casper, obviously, you know. But
Yep.
I thought a little Christina Ricci.
Mine's a little interesting, and it's 100% because I've embarrassingly watched about 3 seasons of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I did.
Melissa Joan
Melissa
Hart.
Joan Hart?
No, I did Kiernan Shipka.
Oh.
She's the blonde
Oh.
girl who plays
Mad Men?
Mad Men. She's Sally, but now she's like 21 years
you're
old.
talking about the
and-
new Sabrina or something.
I like
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
I
it's
like that
not good. I've seen so much.
Oh,
of
she
it.
would have been good.
I don't like Sabrina. I'm saying I like her.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's actually. I'm
Acting.
actually pretty proud of that one. That'd be a good recasting.
That's also impressive to I couldn't think of a modern person, you know, so I kind of stayed there.
I've watched a lot of Sabrina in the past
Sure,
week.
yeah. That's what I didn't even know there was a new one. Mazel.
Yeah,
Lindsay Lohan. I think
I definitely thought of that.
that works for me.
I only avoided that because I thought somebody else would say it.
Who'd you have as Sarah Whittle?
I think I have a good one that I actually think I've used her recently, but I went Tina Fey.
Okay.
I think it's a great Tina Fey role. And she doesn't always transition to movies. In fact, I don't think she ever has. But this one feels good.
That actually
you get
works
to
for
be
me.
funny. You get to be...
I'm not in love with it, but
Sure, okay.
I kept it in a similar SNL world, and I went Kristen Wiig.
I get it.
really,
Similar.
You guys
Yeah.
thought she was like a funny role.
I thought
Kind
Bonnie
of.
Hunt was
I don't
funny,
know.
yeah.
No,
yeah.
I mean it's a funny role. I just like you guys are picking like
I could make this
almost
an
like
action
comedians.
adventure movie and change it. Bonnie Hunt was a comedian
Yeah,
for a
but she
while.
was
I don't know
pretty
if she's
funny.
stand-up or
But also
anything.
think about Kristen Wiig in Walter Mitty. You know, that's not overly funny.
No,
in
yeah,
that.
that's true.
What'd you
got?
have, Mark?
That's where I had Sandy B.
Oh.
See, I could have seen it there. There's a version of this movie where I made it like more
Yeah, that works better
action-y.
for me. That works a lot better for me.
Yeah, you put Sandra Bullock as the
I
aunt.
couldn't think of the ant. I didn't want Carla Gugino. Okay.
Okay, well, but she was on your radar.
Of course, she is every week.
She was. All right. We're such fans of her, and
We
I'm
really
knowing like
are.
3 movies. And
I couldn't do her
Entourage.
again. I had
On your
her-
radar, though.
Had to take her. Yeah. Oh,
right.
she's in the hunt always.
Are we down to Alan?
Yeah.
Mine's a little bit looks alike, and I
Hold on,
always
look,
do.
preface before this.
It's hard to.
We don't do these because we want to see this actor in place of who's already in the movie. It's just this is the category.
It's a fun thought exercise.
Mm-hmm.
But hear me out. I always end up doing the same person for
you
Robin
end up
Williams, so I
doing?
switched it out and I did Steve Carell.
I wrote down Steve Carell and then nixed it. So I definitely get that. But I also did Steve Carell to team up with Tina Fey because I know they have chemistry.
And I did a Steve Carell, Kristen Wiig.
You did Steve Carell. I don't hate that.
I think that could actually work.
I did Tom Hanks.
So I was
works.
going to
That
say that
totally
at the
works.
beginning. I think this would be a great Tom Hanks role, probably a better movie.
I'm trying to think who else has like that
Well,
charisma that,
we talked
that
about
Robin
it with,
Williams has.
We talked about it in Big, how he's good at like bringing it without going over the top.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks.
So if I up the action, I wanted this to be a Brendan Fraser vehicle, obviously. But I went with, for this type of movie, a little more
Brendan
family.
Fraser's actually pretty good. Sorry, go on.
All right, yeah, it'd be great. But then I can't put him with Tina Fey.
that is actually very good.
Okay, if I do Brendan Fraser, then I gotta nix Tina Fey, make her the aunt, and bring up Carla Juke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would watch that movie today.
yeah, I think it'd be great. I wish we had I'd watch that right now. But for the comedic aspect of it, I went Ben Stiller, mainly like
Okay.
Night Exam. Just feels like it could have been.
That works also.
So
also a
Tina
short
Fey, Ben
comedian.
Forgot
Stiller,
about
but
the Stillers.
I do like your
Steve Carell.
Steve Carell
I was going to put Jim Carrey there because that's usually my go-to.
thought
Just
about
because
that.
also an over-the-top actor who can do serious, and when he can tone it down is good.
But you know what's weird? So I
Damn, that's a good
definitely
one,
thought
too.
about.
But I always do
That's a
that for
good one,
Robin
too.
Williams.
I thought about Jim Carrey, but here's why I think it's
That's the-
tough. You know what Robin Williams does that Jim Carrey doesn't? Jim Carrey has a capacity to do dramatic and comedy, but he rarely mixes the two into one role.
That's true.
Whereas Robin Williams obviously can do both, but he does so well mixing the comedic
Many
and
emotions.
grounded.
Yeah, that's true.
I wish that Jim Carrey. It seems like
It gets a little too physical with Jim Carrey.
yeah, like he
And then it becomes like a Jim Carrey
Yeah.
silly movie instead of like
It would have been in his prime still, though. That like night. Well, it might be a little early. No, it would've
well,
been
no,
probably
that
right
would have
around
been
there.
like right at the beginning of it. No, right in the sweet spot of his prime.
like even Liar Liar he gets kind of goofy like
Yeah, he still does, faces and wild
Yeah.
and wacky. I wish he could be hit that, toned down and dramatic. And now it seems like he's cut the ribbon. and
Eternal
Sunshine of-
that's like a
Yeah.
dramatic movie, right? I wouldn't
Yeah.
consider that in any way comedy.
You know, all around, I think
he
we all
does
had
a
some
little bit of Jim Carrey in there like
Just a little bit, you're right.
I feel like we all had some pretty good ones this week. I definitely had a couple of just chalk throw ones in there, but everyone this week had some pretty good ones.
yep.
Yeah, Tim Curry. Not too
Tim
bad.
Curry.
I'd say out of all the times I've used Tim Curry, this one's actually a really good one. Think of all the kid villains he's played. Villain in kids' movies. Sorry, he is,
True. Should we move on to...
I like it. I do like the more
No,
I think
it
about
is
it, it's the
good.
perfect pick. It came at the wrong time. You almost have to redo it.
Yeah.
Also, just apologies, everybody. There is a Bears game going on, and it's currently picking up right now, so there is a little volume from the bar downstairs.
Or they have a raffle. I don't know.
Or
if
there's
it's
a
actually
raffle.
the game.
This game.
Let's move it on to Mount Rushmore, top four.
Mount Rushmore, top four.
Welcome back to Mount Rushmore. This week, in honor of Kirsten Dunst, Jordan wanted to do child actors who possibly peaked acting as children.
I'm going to put a caveat.
Okay.
Okay, so I just in the text thread I just said okay, thinking I knew what that meant.
Yeah.
I made a list thinking I knew what that meant. What are you about to say?
I'm specifically saying people that peak sounds harsh, but were really good child actors like Kirsten Dunst.
Okay.
But even though they're still acting, I'm not talking about just like flameouts necessarily.
Maybe just better as
they were
their
just
younger
better as
version.
kids.
Got it.
But are still acting is the thing that I'm kind of focused on.
Okay.
Like they continued as adults, but they just had a better child career.
So that's the theme we're going with this week. And
Do we agree? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I have some that kind of like slip out of that
Flamed out,
category
yeah.
a little bit. You know,
Okay,
like
cool.
the peaked version, if you will.
I won rock, paper, scissors this week, so I get to go first. I'm going to do someone who we've done before on the podcast. Go back and see School of Rock. And I'm going to recommend Miranda Cosgrove. iCarly, School of Rock. And granted, there is the reboot of iCarly now, but it's essentially reliving the height of her as a child actress.
She's the manager.
She's band manager.
I feel like there are like 1,000 better picks than that.
Yeah.
Well, it's the one I went with. Well, good for you. You get to try one of those dick lips.
I'm going to go Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one.
It's chalk, but Macaulay Culkin.
So I'm going a personal favorite, and there's plenty of people that I'll have in my honorable mention that would make a better list. But I'm going to go with somebody that continues to act into adulthood, has had his own TV show, or been a co-star in a TV show. But if you're talking to Jordan Jones and everybody in this room, and you saw him as a kid, you're like, born in the wrong time period. Get this guy a variety show. Get him something. He's going to go somewhere.
right now?
I'm going to say David motherfucking Krumholtz.
Oh, God.
David Krumholtz.
Just on top of the world, we're talking. We're talking. What's his Bernard, the head elf? You got him in 10 Things I Hate About Here. Are we gonna springboard to something better?
I don't know.
Get him a late night show.
Because those are the only two I can think of. My
But
God.
did he not jump off?
Is he still acting?
Yeah, he was numbers. And
He's
he
on
shows
a cop
Son
show
of a
now.
bitch.
I
Shows up
think.
on a bunch of Judd Apatow shit. Is he still acting? Yeah, but did he miss? Did we not think he was gonna be a star?
Interesting.
And
Did
he's not
we
a
not
child
know?
star. All right, so I guess.
I mean, it seems like we probably should have said Corey Feldman is a pretty big one on
That's
the
where I thought you guys were going, and Cameron said Miranda Cosgrove.
Yeah,
So,
wild card.
I'm going-
Keep
Wild
Keep
card.
you guys on your toes. Keep things fresh.
going,
I don't like
three
that.
that are closer to Kirsten Dunst in my honorable mentions. These are kids that were really good actors in big movies and still act as adults, but they're not like the same level star. Dakota Fanning.
Yeah, Dakota Fanning's a
obviously.
huge one. She was a great child actress, and she is acting. She was in the last Tarantino movie.
Yeah, she's in. No, that was actually. Oh yeah, that was her. So like her roles have been diminished. Christina Ricci, I said her before. She was a big star and still acts now, but she was like, I don't know, like a dramatic kid actor.
I'm going to throw this out here, but actually, I always make fun of Kristen Stewart's acting, but she was
better as
she's
a kid.
better kid.
Much like Kirsten Dunst. She was a really good kid actor and just kind of stayed the same.
Do you like Drew Barrymore better in E.T. or 50 First Dates?
50
50 First Dates.
All she does is scream in E.T. I didn't
Got
even
it.
know it was her. You'd have to tell me.
Got it.
She does have a lisp, though. It's annoying.
This is maybe a little controversial, but
Oh, and
Freddie,
Haley Joel Osment.
Oh, Haley Joel Osment, that's a huge one.
But he's kind of weird and funny.
Yeah, he's
now.
actually kind of
He's
fun
leaned
now.
into it.
Yeah. Freddie Highmore was a great child actor, and he still is a good actor. He was like on that he's the good doctor
don't
in,
even know
in
that.
Bates Motel. He's the kid from Finding Neverland.
Oh, okay. Then the main kid.
And he has still acted. He was in that Vault heist movie I recommended to you. But it's just, he was such an amazing child actor. He's a good actor still, but he was such a great child actor.
That's closer to the list that I thought.
Yeah.
Like, just jumped off. There's a lot of famous actors now who started as kids, and you wouldn't have remembered them, like, you know, from their early roles.
Mm-hmm.
But these kids are like amazing actors, or given the opportunity to be in really good movies, and then just still act, but for whatever reason peaked.
We'd be remiss to not mention the sort of like young families like the Savage brothers or the
Yeah.
Lawrence brothers.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I almost
Mary-Kate
put
and
Fred
Ashley.
Savage on the list. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, really. A lot of those sibling ones really do fizzle out.
Yeah.
Except for
Well,
the Jonas brothers. But
Amanda
they're more musicians.
Bynes, Jonathan Lipnicki, Cameron.
You know, but did he try to keep acting? I'll say that for him. I think he got out of the game. But obviously there are some child actors that just kind of quit acting. So we try to stay away from some of those.
Abigail Breslin.
Oh,
Ooh, she's a good
yeah.
one.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
that's
she was
actually
better as a kid, actually.
Yeah, that's actually pretty
actually a
good.
good one. That one would totally make the
Off
list.
the dome.
So again, we try to keep it more towards acting savants, old souls, rather
yeah.
than the ones that disappeared. So let us know if there's anything we missed off of that list. But also thank you for listening to our take on Jumanji. If you like what you heard, as always, make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. We're just a small grassroots podcast. We don't pay for any advertising or anything like that. So if you do like what you heard, please make sure you recommend to any friends or family or anyone you think would like to join our little movie club.
Although, shout out Denny's. No free ads, but shout out Denny's.
We just like Denny's? Okay.
I do.
Also, Dave & Buster's. We went there recently this week. Shout out to Dave & Buster's.
No free ads.
Just not
Jordan is just, he's beside himself.
If you want to make any movie requests, you can write in at coldclassicspodcast@gmail.com. And as always, if you have any other notes or things you want to mention about the movie, you can join the conversation on social media at Cold Classics Pod on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the good stuff. And you can keep the conversation going on there. Thanks for joining our little movie club, and we'll catch you next time.